We're playing the game of consciousness, and there are levels to this game. Here we are at the third level. Third level here on planet Earth. We're operating from ego-based consciousness. Most of the planet is, at least. This is the level of judgment. It's separation. It's labeling. It's saying, this is mine and that's yours. It's attachment. Ego-based consciousness is where we became aware of ourselves. We look in the mirror and say, hey, that's me. Hey, that's me. I look awfully handsome today. Now, we're moving to the 5D, the fifth dimension, fifth density of consciousness. And there's a lot of myths circulating around the internet. People talking about the 5D, saying this and that, not entirely getting it right. Myth number one is that you escape. You're not going anywhere. There's no, oh, you ascend to the 5D and then, oh, you're walking on another planet or you're walking in the clouds hanging out with Jesus. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. You're not hanging out with Jesus. You're not incarnating on Mars halfway through life. No, there's no escape. The fifth density or fifth dimension of consciousness, however you want to talk about it, the 5D is a state of being. The 5D is a vibration. It's where we are leading with our hearts. It's as we move from the third density of consciousness to the fifth density of consciousness, we begin to activate our heart chakra. We are activating love. We're activating intuition. We're activating empathy. We're activating compassion. So as we begin to integrate these, we begin to see the world as an extension of ourselves. We begin to love. We begin to be grateful. We begin to see others as ourselves. We begin to love others as we love ourselves. So we are moving into love, right, as the predominant leading emotion. So it's not that we're escaping this physical plane on Earth. You have this third density body. We're living in the third dimension. There's no escaping. You're not going to a different dimension. You're elevating your conscious awareness to experience more and create more within this dimension. You're stuck in this body, but you can elevate your mind and spirit to be able to access higher, to think outside of the box. It's just elevated consciousness, elevated thinking, right? It's not that you escape. You're staying here. Sorry to burst your bubble. Myth number two, you can get left behind. Nobody's getting left behind. It's not like the planet is splitting into two and then there's a 3D Earth and a 5D Earth. No. There are going to be people operating from 5D, but there's also going to be people operating from 3D, from ego-based consciousness. There's going to be people operating from love on the planet. There's going to be communities based around love, but there's also going to be communities based on these power structures that we have right now. Egocentric power structures that we see. The corporations, the greed, big pharma, big food, all of it, right? It's not disappearing per se. I mean, it's losing its power. Other, more love-centered people are taking their place. The people are taking their power back. But it's not just like you start operating from the 5D and you stay there. It's a wave. You come down. It's a spectrum. You may be feeling super in love and super in flow one day. You might be creating the world and all this money and all these positive relationships and opportunities are flowing towards you. And then you wake up the next day and you feel like crap. You had maybe one too many shots of tequila to celebrate all that love you were feeling last night. And then maybe you woke up and now you're not feeling so in love. And you're bent over the toilet, throwing up in the morning, and you gotta go to work later. You gotta go meet with clients. That's no fun. And now you're back in the 3D. You're thinking about poor old me throwing up in the toilet after you were just so high. So the same time we get high, we can get low. So it's not two separate planets. Everybody's operating on the same planet. It's just the predominant emotions that drive us will be shifting higher to the 5D. Myth number 3 is that everybody's in love. Oh, it's so positive in the 5D. It's so positive and loving and peaceful in the 5D. No. It is. People generally will be more loving. And if you find some of these communities now, and you find and surround yourself with high vibrational individuals, you will find those communities are more loving. Those communities are more accepting. Those communities are so connected with nature, with themselves. They're practicing things such as meditation and breath work and other Eastern practices, Qigong and yoga. And they're reading Eastern esoteric texts and ancient philosophy, and you're like, whoa, look at these people, they get it, but not all of it is love. People have their frustrations. Just because you're in the 5D doesn't mean you don't feel fear. Just because you're operating from a higher dimension of consciousness doesn't mean the fear can't be struck into you. It doesn't mean that there's no negativity in the world. That stuff is actually heightened. When you're operating that high, you're experiencing more, so you're going to experience more of the fear, the suffering, right? There's going to be doubt that may arise within you, even if you are operating from a higher level of consciousness. There are these facts. There's these different perceptions of reality, and you go through about 1 billion different perceptions every day. You're not the same person you were when you woke up this morning. You're a different person. So it's whatever emotion you're feeling now is different than the one you were feeling this morning. So we have to understand that even if we're operating at a higher level of consciousness, it's not just all going to be the same emotion, right? It's the predominant leading emotion. Predominantly leading emotion will be love. But it's not going to be lovey-dovey, oh my goodness, I love you so much, as you're walking down the food store, and then oh my goodness, let me tell the random person I love them in the aisle in the cash register. You may be thinking it. You can think it. You can think about how much you love everybody, but that's not how the world's gonna work. Maybe it will. Maybe one day we walk around telling everybody, oh, I love you so much. That would be great. That would be cool. Maybe. Kind of weird, right? Imagine telling your grandma how much you love her, kissing her on the lips afterwards. Could be fun. Maybe some people like that. But these are the myths that we got about the 5D. The 5D is a state of awareness. It's consciousness. It's intuition. It's an elevated sense of heart-centered emotions. Elevated emotions coming from your heart. Tapping into love, baby. That's what it is. And we're creating it. We're in the age that we're creating it here on planet Earth. The 3D is going to the 5D. But don't get it twisted, because too many people are twisting it. So watch that next video. There's a ton more content like this on my channel. That's what I make. I make content talking about consciousness, talking about making you the best version of you, making me the best version of me, and living this grand life together. Let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate human consciousness. I'll see you on the other side. Peace. Much love.